Welcome back to The Explainer. So glad you're here today. Because we're tackling something that honestly keeps a whole lot of folks in the financial sector tossing and turning at night. Today, our goal is to completely flip the script on regulatory audits. For so many brokerages, an audit is just this massive source of panic, right? A total fire drill that disrupts everything. But what if we looked at it differently? What if a regulatory inspection wasn't a threat, but actually a brilliant, strategic opportunity to build unshakable trust in your market? We're going to unpack exactly how the most successful offshore Forex brokers are doing just that.
Picture this. Really put yourself in this scenario for a second. You open your inbox tomorrow morning, your coffee's barely hot, the office is just waking up, and boom, right at the top of your screen, a subject line flashes in red. Notice of inspection, Financial Services Commission. I mean, you can practically hear a pin drop. Your heart races. The entire compliance team just goes totally silent, exchanging those terrified looks. The instinct is absolute. Visceral panic, because everyone immediately assumes the worst. But here's the profound truth we're exploring today. An inspection does not have to destroy a broker's reputation.
Okay, let's dive into this, because the way you respond to that terrifying email literally determines your entire reputation. In today's hyper-competitive Forex industry, an inspection is no longer just some routine compliance check where you check a few boxes and move on. No, it is a vital trust test, a real moment of truth. The brokers who pass this test, they don't just satisfy the regulators and walk away, they use this exact moment to earn the deep, long-lasting confidence of their traders, their banking partners, introducing brokers and affiliates. They take a defensive routine and turn it into a powerful offensive strategy.
Section 1. The changing landscape. Why offshore scrutiny is rising.
To really get why this mindset shift is so critical right now, we have to look back at the historical context of offshore hubs. Places like the Seychelles, Mauritius, BVI, and St. Vincent. A decade ago, inspections in these regions were pretty relaxed. Routine checks, different vibe entirely. Fast forward to today, and it is a completely different ballgame. Global regulators are absolutely not operating in silos anymore. Agencies like the FCA, ASIC, and ESMA are cooperating incredibly closely and sharing cross-border info. Add to that, banks are heavily ramping up their due diligence on offshore brokers, and clients are researching brokers more thoroughly than ever. So those relaxed days, they're gone. We are officially in an era of intense, interconnected global scrutiny.
And because of that intense scrutiny, the stakes have just never been higher. Today, your credibility isn't just about the geographic location on your license. A license is honestly just a piece of paper. True credibility is about demonstrating absolute transparency and total operational control. Because in this modern landscape, even the mere appearance of poor governance, literally just a hint of a compliance issue, can be devastating. It's like falling dominoes. It strains your essential banking relationships, causes you to lose vital affiliate partnerships, and leads to a massive, massive drop in trader confidence.
Section 2. The evidence regulators actually want.
So, with stakes that high, how do you actually prepare? Well, when those inspectors arrive, whether that's a virtual call or them walking through your front door, they are not interested in empty promises. They don't care what you're planning to do next quarter. They want cold, hard evidence. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that these are the exact signals proving to inspectors your brokerage is exceptionally well managed. First up, verifiable licenses. Next, your AML and KYC procedures have to be current and actively used. Third, proper client fund segregation. This one is non-negotiable for client trust. Fourth, pristine financial records that back up your capital requirements. And finally, real operational substance. They want to see actual staff and a genuine physical presence where the law requires it. These aren't just documents, they are signals of total operational readiness.
I really want you to let this quote sink in for a second. The strongest brokers don't scramble to assemble this information. They maintain it every day. That right there is the massive mindset shift. A failing broker gets an inspection notice and spends the entire weekend frantically scrambling, right? Digging through old hard drives, trying to patch together a coherent story. The successful broker, they just hit export on the data they already maintain every single day. They live and breathe operational excellence, which means an audit is really just a snapshot of their everyday reality.
Section 3. The critical first 72 hours.
You know, the difference between a failing broker and a successful one is never more obvious than in the immediate aftermath of that initial email. The most crucial window of the entire inspection timeline is those first 72 hours. Let's walk through the exact actionable steps successful brokerages take to respond with structured coordination instead of pure emotional panic. Step 1. Assemble your core team immediately. Leadership, compliance, legal, finance, get them in the same room on the same page. Step 2. Assign crystal clear responsibilities so there's no overlapping work and no dropped balls. Step 3. Rigorously review your documentation and identify any gaps proactively before the regulator finds them. And step 4, which is so vital, establish a single point of contact for the regulator. You cannot afford mixed messages. Everything has to be centralized.
So the crucial point is, this entire 72-hour protocol isn't actually about appearing totally flawless right out of the gate. Regulators get it, businesses are complex. What they really care about, almost as much as the compliance documents themselves, is your organizational composure. They want to see control, exceptional organization, and clear accountability under pressure. If you project calm, structured management when the heat is on, you instantly elevate the regulator's confidence in your firm.
Section 4. The Post-Inspection Playbook. Don't stay silent.
All right, let's pivot to the aftermath. The auditors have packed up, the secure data rooms are shut down, and you survived. This is where we need to open the post-inspection playbook, because here is the absolute biggest mistake offshore brokers make once the regulators leave. The inspection ends, everything goes well, and they say nothing. It is such a massive missed opportunity. So many brokers just breathe a huge sigh of relief and go right back to business as usual. But total silence after a successful audit or after finishing required remediation literally deprives your brokerage of one of the most powerful marketing tools you have. You just passed a rigorous test. Why in the world wouldn't you leverage that?
This is exactly where the power of a post-inspection press release comes into play. Putting out a factual, well-crafted press release isn't just self-promotion. It's a highly strategic move for documented credibility. First off, it loudly communicates your commitment to compliance to the whole market. Second, remember how we said clients research brokers? This creates a searchable, public record of your good standing. Third, it immediately reassures your existing traders, affiliate partners, and those highly risk-averse payment providers. And finally, it clearly demonstrates that your brokerage takes its regulatory duties incredibly seriously.
Section 5. Building long-term credibility.
Building long-term credibility for an offshore broker isn't something that happens overnight. It's not built just by holding a license in a specific jurisdiction, and it for sure isn't built with just one isolated press release. It's a continuous, strategic journey. And this brilliantly illustrates that exact timeline. You start with the notice of inspection. That's your catalyst. Then you put in the hard work and reach that compliance milestone. Next, you don't stay silent. You make sure media coverage is published. The end result? Growing brand authority. It just goes to show how consistent transparency, clear communication, and a documented history of doing the right thing, especially when nobody is watching, ultimately forge unshakable industry trust.
As we wrap things up today, I want to leave you with a thought to really reflect on. Is your brokerage ready for tomorrow's inbox? If that notice arrived at 8 a.m. tomorrow, where would your firm fall? Would there be a massive strategic gap filled with emotional panic? Or are you operating with the daily preparation required to turn that notice into your next big credibility win?
If you want to make sure your firm is operating with that daily preparation instead of panic, and you're ready to expertly broadcast your regulatory milestones to traders, partners, and the media, I highly encourage you to explore our PR packages through the link in the description below. And definitely subscribe for more practical Forex PR insights to help you keep building that long-term credibility. I'll leave you with this. When the regulator inevitably knocks on your door, will it be the start of your downfall or your greatest credibility win? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I will see you in the next one.